So I wanted to switch gears a little bit and talk about the fact that you're an Amazon woman, very tall.
Thank you.
Is something? Were you always, tall? Okay.
I was always the tallest, kid in my class. Yeah. Or at least girl.
Okay. Was that something that, did that, how did you, feel about that? Was it something that you were self-conscious about?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I was because, guys don't grow. And until they're
we try.
Right.
Women grow fat sooner, I think.
And I'm
6'1",
you know what I mean? So it's awkward. And this was I act like I'm so fucking old, but this was before social media, and you can see other people, explore page.
Yeah.
So I just always felt awkward and blah, blah, blah. My first boyfriend, there's a picture somewhere, but he had to be 5'6", 5'7", and there's a picture of us. There's a picture of us holding hands, walking together, and it was actually the day I lost my virginity. I remember that.
Oh,
anyways,
wow.
Yeah. Oh, but
nice.
We were walking together, and the height difference is insane.
Was just
Yeah, but I used to be super self-conscious about it, and then one day I was like, well, I can't change it. Might as well embrace it.
Yeah.
And then,
Do you think that intimidated a lot of guys?
Probably. I feel a lot of men have really big egos. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's a matter of maybe thinking that we should have some sort of physical dominance in a way.
Yes,
we need to be bigger or taller.
Right.
Whereas, and there are a lot of women, I have a cousin, she's 5'10", and she would say, I don't date guys under 6'3", because she wanted the guys that she was with to be tall, enough tall, not just taller, but so she can wear little, heels.
Absolutely.
And actually still not tower over.
Absolutely.
But then there's some that are, that they don't mind a shorter guy, and it's not so I don't know. Where do you stand on that?
I mean, it'd be cool to have a taller boyfriend, but it's
NBA
not.
player.
I mean, that'd be cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not he has to be taller than me. I mean, as long as your dick game's good and you let me hoe, you let me as long as your dick game's good, you let me hoe.
Yeah.
And you're cool.
He treats you well,
right? That's all that matters.
Okay, so
it's cool if he's tall, but it's not
it's not a deal breaker for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, because it is for some. I've noticed that with women, in my experience, they are less, I think, superficial than men can be in terms of looks.
Right.
But the two things I've found that tend to be the most common deal breakers in that area are height and hair.
Hair, interesting.
Because a lot of women don't want to date a guy who's bald or balding, and
okay.
I
never thought about that. Okay.
Yeah, well, because I've talked to women before. They're like, oh, he can't be losing his hair. He can't be doing this. I'm like, that's a tall order, because there's no way that a guy can know if he's going to lose his hair.
Literally.
That's genetic. That's something that we just don't know is going to happen until it starts happening. But and we don't have a Hollywood situation where we can just put on good hair pieces.
What are those things called? A toupee?
Yeah. But actors, for instance, that can have that have the means of having basically a 24/7 stylist that can keep their hair, like John Travolta.
Right.
He's been bald for I think decades now, but he has really good hair pieces.
Right.
So anyway.
Or the hair transplants or whatever.
Yeah. Or that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's something that men are really self-conscious about.
I believe it. And how men say things about women say things about, you know what I mean? It's just that's our, it's if the roles were reversed, that's the, the equivalent, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because for a guy, it's almost like we don't care how good they are in bed almost if they are hot enough.
Okay.
For a lot of guys, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because it's a different thing for us, since for us getting off is not as difficult.
Right.
Usually. It can be.
Usually?
It can be, but I think ultimately though, it definitely, because I think looks can definitely wear off if the person's not a good person to be around, if they don't treat you well.
Right. Yeah.
Because I don't care how attractive they are. It's if they don't treat you right, then you're gonna think that they're gonna look terrible.
Yeah, and you just get the ick, and once you get it, yeah.
So, but I mean, are people so you were saying that people are surprised to see how tall, when you show up on set, do they not know that you're that tall?
Almost never. I one of the first things, oh wow, you're really tall, whether it's a date, a set, collab, anything, or whatever, anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm just do do you guys like not like read my
your page? Yeah.
Right. And so with my girl scene, how they did it was Bianca Bangs. She was supposed to, she's this little girl, like little skinny, like little girl. And they were trying to make her be the bully to me or pressure me into like fucking her.
Like she's intimidating you.
Right. Right. And it was like, you guys didn't like even take like 5 seconds to be like, oh, you know,
this looks kind of silly.
Right.
Well, I was going to say, does your height automatically make people think that you're more dominant?
I would assume so. Like, yeah, I would assume so. I've only had one girl scene, but like with boy girl, I don't want to be dominant unless it's a dominatrix scene. But yeah.
Well, I was going to say, because I don't know if there's a lot of like really tall male performers. Like I know there's a couple that are maybe like 6'2", 6'3".
I don't think there's any that are like super tall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I've seen some in real life, like when I went to AVN and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, they look like they're like 5'10", you know, 5'11" maybe. Yeah. So you're probably there just like, how you doing, champ?
No, literally every single time I'm like, oh.
I mean, but their dick game is obviously
it's phenomenal.
Fantastic. So it makes up for it.
Right.
But.
One of my favorite dicks is like the one of them in LA. Actually, both of them are pretty short, but one of them in particular is probably like 5 or 6 inches shorter than me.
Okay.
But like the dick game is like so good.
Yep.
And I think the other one is like 5'9". So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't discriminate. I don't judge. No,
that's nice. No, again, because I think that makes that because I do think shorter men do get kind of an unfair situation that there are so many women that do not want to be with a guy who's shorter than them. Yeah, they that whole thing.
Right.
And now, granted, most women are like 5'5", 5'6", 5'7".
Right.
You're already on
the
top of them. Yeah.
Right.
So it's cool that you don't have that kind of hang up.
Right.
So short guys out there, if you got a good dick game, she'll appreciate it.
I will. I really will.
So do you like tall women too? Like, would you ever want to collab with someone who's your height?
I actually would. I would love that.
Twin Towers?
Yeah. Literally the amount of times. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I tend to just collab with like men more.
Sure.
Not because like I'm anti-women or anything. I'm just like.
Do you just like doing boy girl more?
I'm just way into guys. Like I love men. Like
okay.
Like I love men, and like I think it's just because I've never like really fucked a woman, like unless it was that one scene. But like I've never like how everyone like experiments with their best friend. Like I've never like
you never did that. Okay.
No. So, but like lesbian porn was the first porn I watched. I remember being like in my little computer room, like
yeah.
But. Yeah, I think I just don't know what to do. So I'm like, I also don't like being eaten out.
Okay. Yeah. By anybody.
It's just not my thing.
Really?
It's not my thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.